Welcome, everybody, to the Thinning Out Loud podcast with your hosts, Dan, that's me, and Liam.
That's me.
Here we talk about games, movies, and stuff that generally takes our fancy in the world. This episode is going to be... Oh, for fuck's sake, I still haven't deleted that fucking part of the fucking script.
Keep this in the podcast. It's fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, Ron Bergen myself for a second fucking time. That's ridiculous. I'm actually not doing that on purpose either. That's fucking ridiculous. Okay, alright.
Danny Boy, you're funny.
I deleted it and I saved it, so it will not happen again. Okay, alright.
Sure.
Yeah, sure, Until I change it next time and then it just happens, yeah. Anyway, so this is our third episode. Welcome if you're listening. I hope that one day you are. That'll be really good. But for now, we're just going to keep going. As always, Liam, we're going to do some topics of things that has interested us over the last 2 weeks. And because neither of us really prepare until like the day that we do this, most of them are from relatively recent days, I think. Anyway, and my ones anyway are quite recent. Okay, so we'll move on to the first topic. I'll start off the Spider-Man movie review. Let's do that. So me and Liam and my girlfriend went and saw. Hey, get out of it, Lily. Fuck off. Went and saw my cat, podcast cat. Went and saw Spider-Man Homecoming. When the night it came out, so we saw it day one, and we're gonna do, I guess, we're gonna do full spoilers because by the time anybody listens to this, I'm sure they would have seen Spider-Man Homecoming by then.
You'd hope so.
I'd hope so.
But if you haven't, get off this. Go watch it.
Stop listening right now and go.
Stop right now.
Go to your nearest renting system of either. I'm sure by the time you're listening to this, all movies will be on Netflix for all time. So go watch it there or something like that. I don't know. Just go find it. Go watch it. Okay, what can we say about the movie? First impressions. What did you think of the overall movie?
I liked it. I thought everybody was, well cast. I liked Michael Keaton as the bad guy with a reason to be the bad guy.
Yep. He had a good reason. I felt like he was a well thought out bad guy. It wasn't just a bad guy being bad. He was doing it for what he thought were right reasons. Even though what he was doing was really bad and he killed lots of people. He was a lot more. It surprised me when he killed Shocker. I was like, whoa, I did not realize that this guy was this much of a badass. He came across a lot more kind of just a smart businessman rather than a just straight up merciless kind of, if you cross him, you're going to get fucked sort of thing.
Yep.
What do you think of Liz, the love interest?
It seemed okay. It's interesting that they steered straight away from Mary Jane Watson and straight away from the other one. Can't remember her name now. Gwen Stacy, this one.
Yeah.
It's interesting that they're going a different one. I mean, those two are the big sort of loves of Peter Parker's life and Spider-Man's life. So it's interesting that they're actually showing other ones.
Because this one's actually is from the comic books. This is Liz was actually the first love interest of Spider-Man. I found this out after watching the movie because I did a bit more research. I do like Spider-Man, but I'm not old enough to have read his comics from way back when. This is like issue 4. There was Liz, who was Spider-Man's girlfriend. Yeah.
Or Peter Parker's girlfriend.
Peter Parker's girlfriend, yeah, sorry. I thought she was good. I thought she was a good burner girlfriend. I felt like it was okay for her to leave in the first one and not leave me feeling too detached or anything like that. It was quite good. And then they did the whole tease of the new Michelle girl, like her name's Michelle, having the initials MJ. Apparently she's not actually MJ.
Yep.
But
it's just coincidence that Kevin Feige said that it's just coincidence that they have the same ones. It's probably a seed that they planted there on purpose to make people think about that. But
exactly, yeah, I'm sure that was just a little thing. Although it would be interesting to see him being with another MJ, going away from the comic books a little bit and giving him a long, sustaining relationship with a girl who isn't Mary Jane Watson, but still called MJ.
There's quite a few Easter eggs in all of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like Donald Glover as Aaron Davis is apparently the uncle of Miles Morales.
Yes, because we argued a little bit about that.
We did.
Because you didn't think he was, but it's come out that he is. And it's pretty cool. I like that. They did that really well. I really liked his character. Like, his character was absolutely like just a gangster. Like, he was a street gangster. He was like obviously really stoned. Like, he could barely keep his eyes open for the entire time that he was talking to Spider-Man, which was kind of funny. What did you think of Spider-Man's interrogation scene just then, while we're on the subject?
I thought it was quite silly. Quite a little bit of humor in there.
The deep voice changer. That was pretty cool.
A full-blown cybernetic spider suit, which I think we should talk about.
Yes.
Having all that sort of technology shoved into one suit, and then that teaser at the end of the Iron Spider suit.
Iron Spider suit. Oh my god, I was so excited. I actually, I think I actually leaned over to you and I was like, "Oh, the Iron Spider!" And it was a good suit. It looked good. It's really faithful to the comics, how the eyes change size and all that. Although I not quite know if I like the whole Stark technology shoved into it as well to do everything. Because from my understanding of the comics, it's always been Spider-Man on his own, doing his own thing, and everything is made by himself. Well, the original, like in Civil War, the comic books, he gets given the Iron Spider suit by Tony Stark.
Yeah, once he reveals his identity and he gives it to him as protection.
Yeah, correct. But yeah, other than that, he has been always his own gadgets, his own suit, and all this kind of thing. But then again, this is like a kid. So Tony Stark is taking him under his wing and looking after him and that kind of thing. I think it's a good enough explanation for him to have that suit with all that kind of tech. I didn't quite like how the voice inside the suit, it reminded me a bit too much of Friday out of Tony Stark's new suit.
Although it's completely different voice actresses. The voice actress is actually Jennifer Connelly, Paul Bettany's wife, who also plays Vision in the MCU. So it's a bit of a funny little.
She used to be in the Hulk movie, eh? God
damn it. The first one,
yeah.
the bad one, yes, with Eric Bana as the Hulk.
Yes. Yeah, well, when I was a kid and I watched that for the first time, I liked it a lot. But then I went and watched it. Well, I didn't actually finish it because it was terrible. But I tried to watch it recently. It wasn't good.
It's not a good movie. The one they redid, that was
Indestructible
okay.
Hulk or something? That was okay.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Spider-Man. Who else was in it? What did you think of Ned?
That's pretty interesting having like not a psychic but someone else to like bounce off and refer to.
I felt there was a bit too much of him in the movie. Like, he wore a little thin, especially on towards the beginning. At the end, I loved him. I thought he was brilliant at the end when he was helping Spider-Man out and everything. But I don't know, he was just a bit weird in the beginning. He was just a bit too chatty for my liking. But I don't know. He still seems decent enough.
What did you think about them recasting Flash Thompson as a Italian, essentially, instead of like the tall white jock football player? And they redid it. I thought that was quite an interesting way to go.
Yes. Yeah, I thought it was a good, interesting twist on it, on the classic stereotype of what bullies were, and that this bully was much more of a kind of emotional bully, right? You never saw him actually try and attack Peter physically. It was always kind of just put him down, try and be above him and all that kind of stuff, and just make him feel shit about himself. Which it seems
even though Peter Parker's probably smarter than Flash Thompson.
Oh yeah, well he proved it because Flash Thompson,
to a point.
They called him Flash because he's always really quick, but he's always wrong. And then Peter Parker, because they were in the biology class or something like that, he was like not even paying attention, looked at the board for a split second, and then like knew the answer straight away, sort of thing. So yeah, it's definitely showed that Peter Parker is a smart person.
So very interesting.
Anything else about this? Action pieces of that movie.
I thought the standout was probably the boat scene when the fur is chopped in half.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty good.
Mhm.
Also, although the sort of anyone on the plane was also pretty
Yeah, it
nutty,
was pretty
nuts.
intense. Yeah, I actually quite liked some of the first ones where he kind of like first meets Vulture, and he just gets kind of picked up and thrown around and that kind of stuff. I kind of liked seeing that kind of Peter Parker kind of or Spider Man just kind of not knowing what to do as such, just kind of meeting a bad guy and then just getting fucked over. It was kind of interesting. What did you think of the whole twist arc? I know you saw it coming. When Peter Parker goes to pick up his date for prom, has no idea what's going on, opens the door, and there's standing Vulture. And because does Peter Parker know he's Vulture straight away?
I think he clicks pretty quickly because I think he worked it out a little bit before that.
Yes.
He wasn't expecting
it to be him to be there.
It to be him. I don't think he clicked with the names
because they both kind of clicked with each other's voices, eh? Because Vulture was in the car with him, and you were saying that he sounded very, very familiar. And then they started talking, and then they both kind of. I think they both clicked in the car.
I think no, Peter. I think knew it as soon as the door opened, and the whole dad thing was like, "Hi, Peter, come in."
Yeah.
I think he like snapped straight away and was like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
So
that was really cool. I like that the fact that
that's why there was very tense in that kitchen scene.
Yes, yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
very standoffish.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was a good movie. It's a good movie. I definitely want to see it again. I'll definitely get it when it comes out and have a look at it.
What did you think about the Easter egg right at the end of Captain America? That was fucking
so
hilarious.
fucking funny. Holy shit. That was I think that's probably my favorite teaser of all time. Just because it was so perfect. Like, you had literally sat there for 5 minutes, and then Captain America comes on telling you how useless it is to waste your time waiting for things that might not happen.
Yep. It's just like poking fun at pretty much every other Marvel movie because I've always done it with Marvel movies. Always had a freaking wink at something. It was a clever sort of prod in that direction.
It was good. What do you think of? Do you think so? The next movie, is there another the second Spider-Man movie, the Spider-Man solo movie, is after Avengers.
So after the next Avengers movie,
Infinity War.
Yeah, after Infinity War, and somewhere in like phase 3 or 4 or whatever they're trying to call it now, I don't know. Apparently Holland signed on for to do another 6 movies altogether. Wow. Yeah, Holland initially signed on for 6 MCU films, including 3 Spider-Man films. So he's got Civil War, he's got Spider-Man Homecoming, he's doing Avengers Infinity War. If there's an Avengers Part 2 for that, he's going to probably be in that one, and then two more Spider-Mans.
Right, because I thought Sony had only signed it on for 3 movies.
Maybe they're doing the 3 solo movies on their own, and they're doing 3 joint movies or something. I don't know. It's it's business and business. It gets all very.
Because you've got Civil War, that would count as one. Spider-Man Homecoming would count as one. Avengers would count as one. Spider-Man 2 would count as one. So he's going to be popping up in a couple of other films then. Okay.
Yep.
That'd be kind of
cool. It's the same with I think pretty much everybody in the MCU universe they've signed on for multiple movies and then going from there.
I would like to see him and Doctor Strange team up, because in the comic books, Doctor Strange and Peter Parker have always had a pretty close relationship, and whenever something occult kind of happens to Peter Parker, he always goes straight to Doctor Strange. So yeah, that'd be cool.
I would like to see something with Captain America instead, because in the comics and all that, there's a specific line that goes, Captain America thinks that Peter Parker is sort of the best of the heroes, and then according to some of the time travelers that come back from the future, they always refer to Spider-Man as the best of the heroes. Yeah. So I'd like to see, Captain America sort of take him under his wing for a little bit and show him some.
He's always been kind of the scout, Boy Scout of the Marvel universe. He doesn't like to kill people.
Captain America or Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Right.
Because Captain America and Tony Stark, if a threat is threatening the world or someone that's close to them, they'll kill the fuck out of that person. Whereas Spider-Man will try and take the route that doesn't lead to that path. And that's kind of the same kind of route that Superman's supposed to take in the DC kind of realm, although at the moment he's not doing a very good job.
Well, he's very dead now, so.
Well, he's allowed to die. He's just not allowed to kill anybody.
No.
But yeah. Anyway, Spider-Man. What out of 10, what would you rate it?
Solid 9, 9.5.
Because what's your top rated Marvel movie at the moment?
Top rated Marvel movie. Probably Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Avengers: Age of Ultron. Okay, so just a little bit below that.
Followed quite closely by Winter Soldier, and probably Spider-Man.
Okay.
Homecoming.
So top 3. That's pretty good. I'd probably put it as it's definitely better than any Spider-Man movie ever made before. What rating would I put it for my current Marvel universe? I think Captain America, Winter Soldier is my favorite. Probably Guardians of the Galaxy after that, and then probably Doctor Strange, and then Spider-Man. I think I really like Doctor Strange left a pretty heavy impact. I never really took the character seriously on the comic books, but this made me kind of turn around and go, "Whoa, that's pretty cool."
I always seem to get, for some reason, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and one of the guys in the DC universe. I always seem to get them very confused. I don't know why.
Zatara or?
Nah, not that one. There's another Doctor in the DC universe. I can't remember. He was part of the Justice Society. I always get those two very confused for some reason. I don't know why. They're completely different. They're both doctors, but I get them very confused.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Dr. Midnight, I think.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Midnight, yeah. There's the Hope guy. Was it Hope? I don't know. The Fate, Dr. Fate. Is it Dr. Fate?
Dr. Fate, yeah.
Yeah, anyway, whoa, Jesus Christ. I just flipped something across my desk.
There's a few doctors in them.
Yeah, I'm sure they're all copying off each other in some degrees. I mean, it's comic books. Yep. I mean, that's just been what's been happening for all time. Anyway, okay, what's the next topic? Shoot us off with one of yours.
Everyone's favorite game of the moment, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Yep. Reading something today, it said they're getting a dedicated mode where it's first person only for the hardcore players.
A first person. Okay, so that's what they meant, because I saw the headline on IGN which said PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds to get hardcore server.
Yep. It's essentially a first-person mode, so you can't actually switch out of it, so you have to do everything in first-person shooter.
Right. So it only means first-person. It doesn't mean anything else. Right.
It's already pretty hardcore anyway. You take a bullet,
get hurt. I thought they meant it would be an optional server for the players that kind of want to go in there and kind of say that they are hardcore, and the people that are really good at the game kind of go in there. I wouldn't mind something like that, actually. Make it be like a ranked kind of system where you get paired with people who are similar kind of ranks to you.
Yeah. Apparently the first person thing's only on solo or duo servers, and at the moment it's only on Oceanic or North American servers, and apparently they're going to indicate it somehow, saying that it is. But that's coming through in the next update.
Okay.
And then the other news from last week, the week before, the new maps that they leaked.
Yes,
showed.
They showed on Twitter. I hope they do come out soon. Battlegrounds is really fun, but I'm really starting to want a new map.
Yeah, that one it's huge. You can never see the same thing twice, but it's the same map that's been with you for day one, so it makes sense for them to start doing something else, especially with the new one. The first one coming out was apparently a desert map, 4x4Ks, and so close quarters ish.
Yeah.
And in a desert, so it's going to apply different strategies. And I read something along that there might be like a sandstorm that might kick up at a certain point.
That'd be interesting.
So
because I've been wanting kind of things to happen in the world. Like, I know I've talked to you about this a little bit, but having animals in the world, like having bears and wolves and stuff like that you can take down, and it's kind of adds another level of kind of difficulty or tension to the game. And of course rocket launchers and
heavy weapons in general.
Triggered explosives would be really, really cool. Like just dropping a sticky bomb to the front of a car or something like that. That'd be really, really cool.
Or putting a claymore underneath a car, so someone tries and runs up and takes the car, claymore in the face,
boom,
or by the door of house you're
in.
And searching.
Yeah, I think that would be I don't know. I don't think they would break the game at all. I don't think they would really do anything to break the balance of the game, because that game is really well balanced. Um, yeah, I don't think there would be really any kind of negative kind of impact from something like that coming into the game. Maybe
No.
rocket launchers versus versus like cars and stuff would maybe be not be very good. But cars are kind of OP now anyway. They need something to kind of be able to just stop them when they're tricks or something like that. I don't know.
Well, something close along, sort of like a heavy sniper rifle, or like Rick Engine Block or something.
Exactly. Yeah, that'd be kind of
More than what the current sniper rifles are, which are all pretty much the T bolt action or
yeah.
9mm ones.
All right.
You know.
So, the next topic. Now, the president of PlayStation National has come out and has said in an interview that apparently PlayStation held back during their E3 conference, that they could have shown more of new games that people hadn't seen before, but decided to not do that, as they wanted to hold off on kind of announcing games without release dates, which they have been famous for doing before. So I'll just read a little quote from Shuhei. We have no plans to talk about SIC. I don't know what that is, but there are things we have held. Sick, yeah. I don't know what it is though. What is that?
Let me Google it. Keep going.
Okay, right. But there are things we have held. We chose not to show during this E3. Of course, there will be some more news coming out of our teams later this year. So it sounds like they're going to have more news from games that we have not heard of coming out later on in the year. Of course, they'll be saving things for PSX, their own PlayStation Expo that they do every year. They'd be fools.
And the Tokyo Game Show.
In the Tokyo Game Show, yeah. They'd be fools not to leave some stuff for those kinds of things, and which I'm hoping Xbox will be able to match, hopefully, maybe. But yeah.
When is the PlayStation experience?
It's generally about October, November.
Played any attention to it, because I haven't had a PlayStation before this. So.
Exactly.
Well, not for a long time, so
yeah,
never been too much of a concern.
What do you think about that? Do you think that that's a good enough excuse for not having, just basically showing the same games in the E3, or do you think it's just kind of hogwash that they've just brought out now? Just to cover their own ass.
I think we heard rumors around E3 time about someone else saying the same sort of thing. Makes sense for them to want to hold on to some things for later experience to show off at their own showcase.
Yeah,
makes a little bit of sense in a business sense, but for like players and stuff like that, it's a little bit of a dick move.
Yeah.
But to be fair, how many games go under the wire and get announced like being worked on for like 5-6 years or less, and then being announced? Straight away. So, it's to a point, it makes certain sense. Also depends on what sort of games they are. If it's like one of the flagships or not, or if it's just a brand new thing or not. It depends.
Cool. I'd hope it's a new Ape Escape game. I'd be really cool with that. All right. All right. Since I've this week I've got more topics than you. I'll do another one else.
Go
on. Spider-Man PS4. They've announced that the map size is larger than Overdrive, which is another Insomniac game that they
Sunset Overdrive.
Yes,
use the name properly, please.
Sorry, Xbox. So it's larger than the map in Sunset Overdrive, which is an Xbox exclusive. I, of course, never played it. I love Insomniac, but I never got an Xbox for that game. It didn't really strike me too much. Did you play it?
I have played it, and it's a fantastic game. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'd heard
just so much fun
about it being really, really good, but I just never got into it. One of my flatmates had it and played it, and I watched him for a couple of minutes and played a little bit of it, and it just didn't strike a chord with me. Probably had to get into it a little bit to really like it. Is the map in that big?
Fairly large. I mean, I don't think so. I can compare it to that we both played. It's like a lot smaller than, like, say, The Witcher. It's a fair bit smaller than like Grand Theft Auto. It's a city. It's fairly large. I mean, if you to not use the traversal methods in Sunset Overdrive and just like walk, it would take a long fucking time because there's no cars. That's why they have that crazy traversal system that they had.
Yeah, of course.
It's fairly large. Might be of a similar scale to maybe half a Saints Row.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. It's pretty decent. What about Watch Dogs 2?
It's smaller than that. It's probably more like the central city.
Island. Okay. All right. Because
well, San Francisco's not an island; it's part of the continent. It's probably more the city side of San Francisco than the outside, across the bay things. So the south side of the map, sort of thing.
I gotcha. Okay.
Maybe I don't know. We won't know until we play it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. This is a good sign. I think it definitely hints towards there being more than a couple of bad guys, and being a bit more kind of what would you call it? Just, variety.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty stoked with that news actually. That makes me feel good about this game. Makes me feel like it's going to be a winner for the Spider-Man.
I like how they're taking with that Spider-Man. They're taking a physics-based approach to the web mechanics that's based off hitting the building and then swing with accurate.
Well, the
graphics,
thing is, they've been doing
physics.
that. They've been doing that since Spider-Man 2. Like in Spider-Man 2, that was a really big thing. That you didn't just your web didn't just go up straight in the air and you swung around the building. Your web actually went basically to the closest building, and your swing trajectory would change based on that. So the technology's been out there for a while, and I'm glad they're using it. But yeah,
probably just updated and made it better for the current generation.
A bit faster and a bit.
I remember Spider-Man 1 where you could go up forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and could not stop. But you couldn't touch the ground for some reason. So
yeah, Spidey can't touch the ground. The ground is lava.
Yeah. The ground is lava. 50 feet off the ground is lava. Apparently, they can, if I remember
right. All right, yeah, up to you. Next.
Everybody's favorite shooter, Destiny.
Okay.
Open beta coming out on the 21st. Pre-order access on the 18th. Open access on 21st. PC beta in August at some stage.
Yep.
Go on.
No, I've been trying to get a beta key for the PC release, just so I can see if my PC will handle it and make it look good. To see if it's worth buying on the PC. I'm definitely going to get it for PS4, but yeah, no, carry on.
I don't think I could ever do that, buy a game twice if I already own it on something else. I just don't want to spend another $50 to $100 on a game I already own. I've already played to.
I've bought Skyrim a couple times, but no, I don't like doing it.
Yeah. And apparently they're doing the first mission, a strike, and a multiplayer map.
Okay, that's cool. Because people have played. Wasn't they? No, they didn't release the raid in the to the players. The press.
Not yet, but they keep making noises about how it's completely different from every other raid that they've done. So
that sounds pretty cool.
As much you can change from shooting things in the face with guns.
Yeah. Did you see that the Destiny player space thing that they did on IGN?
Yep, the farm.
Yes, the farm. How they've got the soccer field, and they showed off a couple of the people that are available. And they talked about it. They just showed off. Oh no, just like they showed off the Cryptarch person who was a person from the temple.
Yep, the Felwinter Temple with Rise of Iron. Yep. It's that one instead of the other one, so I wonder where the other one went.
I know, right? That could be an interesting story.
Died.
That'd be.
Or maybe maybe in practical terms, they just couldn't get the voice actor to come back because
that'd be actually, I'd be totally okay with that because he always gave me shit fucking loot, so I'd be perfectly fine with him dying.
Fair enough. I makes you wonder if, because we know that the three sort of vanguards wander off. Yep. So I wonder if you'll do their personal quest or what have you, then they'll come back to the farm, and then that's when you start trying to fight off Gaul and try and kick him in.
Of course.
Kick him in, but also I don't know.
Because the thing is, you're on Earth. Gaul defeats you. You have to leave, and I'm sure escaping to the farm is probably going to be one of the first things you do.
Yep. From the footage, it certainly looks like Gaul, I don't know, breaks your ghost or something, boots you off the ship, and you crash.
It's kind of scary.
Die.
Yeah. So they have mentioned or confirmed, I believe, that the farm changes as the story goes on, or something like that. It's gonna be interesting to see how they do that, whether characters of similar levels are put into different kind of areas so that they have different kind of things to do or something like that.
Well, that has been done before. World of Warcraft did that for the longest time. They're like in each of the expansion was a Burning Crusade. That first region you had, that started off as like being pretty much a close quarter battle. Then as you got farther in that, it spread out more. So it's not a brand new thing that's never been done before.
It's just I don't know how like I can't figure it out in my brain how they do it. Like you're walking around going up staircases that don't exist for other people. So I don't know.
It'll probably, as you said, it'll probably just be everyone on the same point in the story doing that stuff. Not necessarily level, because you could be level 20 and just be starting the game or something like that. So it'll be everyone who's up to that point of the story will be doing that stuff. We'll see that stuff. So what you'll see is you'll only see people who still live around you, and then you might move forward and you'll never see that person again until they catch up to you. So I also wonder how this will work in like group things as well. If there's 3 people in your fire team, you're going to have 3 different worlds. You're not going to see each other. And, I suppose if everyone's playing from day one, it probably won't matter too much. But if you get new people coming
in, all right. I've got one which might fall flat, which is that games aren't creative anymore. They are too realistic. Now that might be going a bit too far as a statement, but I do believe that as gaming, like creating technology, is getting better and better and better, the amount of games that are being done with characters that are not humans and stories that are not in some way human are happening more and more. Would you agree with that?
Not really. I think every game I've played recently has almost had a human figure as a center point. It would be a Stardew Valley, or say Diablo 3, or say Horizon Zero Dawn. They've all been, central figures being human. I don't really think there'll be. We might get to a point somewhere in the future where you can play as a non-human and play as an alien or something like that. But I don't quite know if that's ever going to happen, because humans, as a species, you sort of see it as ourselves, not necessarily something else. I don't quite know if that would take off. I wonder if Skyrim is actually like measured any of that, see how many people play as an Agoni,
because interesting actually to see.
I don't know if that's actually trackable. It'd be interesting to see the numbers though.
Yeah, I guess, and it is also to a point like COD is still the most successful game of all time. Well, I mean, it's just the most popular game every year, sort of thing. So people, I guess, they like realistic stuff. I just really enjoy games that take a curve. Games like Ratchet and Clank, like Jak and Daxter and Sly Raccoon and Crash Bandicoot, which is Crash Bandicoot's doing phenomenally well.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. You came over and played it the other night. What did you think of it?
That's right. I'm not fond of platformers. I tend to be very bad at them, and I tend to rage quit pretty quickly.
You did pretty well.
No, not really. The good one I had was the boat one, and maybe the first dinosaur one.
No, you did that boat one in one go. I was pretty impressed with that, actually.
Yeah, I only had like 2 checkpoints, so I don't know how that started. It was more like I had to keep going forward, otherwise I'd have to restart the entire thing again. So it was like,
that was pretty good.
Just luck. I don't know. I think when Mass Effect Andromeda was coming out, I think they were thinking about doing a story as like, you'll be able to choose your player race. You'll be able to play as a Turian or something like that. But they cancelled that because they felt like you'd have to do something like Dragon Age Origins and have to do a full backstory, because the racial perspectives of a Turian is different from a Solarian, which is different from a human. So they kind of scrapped it because they're all very different cultures. I know it's sci-fi and all that, but they're all very different cultures, and that's the thing with playing an alien. You'd have to do some backstory on how that culture's perspectives, and the thing with that is humans will also whitewash that perspective of their history as well. You see it in modern day culture, you see like, the white person sort of dominates gaming, and they're sort of whitewashed of the other races.
Entertainment, is very, very controlled by the white person, I guess.
The white man, Speaking as white men.
As white men, yes. Yeah. As people who are white men and trying to get into entertainment. So, as stereotypical as it can get. Okay, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess games are more creative than I really thought, and that it would just be more difficult to make them even further. I mean, and it was also back then, like technology wasn't able to do the kind of facial textures that we see in people, so human faces just look like squares and blocks and things like that, like the old Tomb Raider and all that kind of stuff. So they had to do, they had to do the old do like the kind of characters and interesting animals and stuff like that that could have kind of less facial definition.
But there's still been like fantastic jumps in the technology. Like the one that always sticks into mind as the biggest leap is Killzone 1 to Killzone 2.
Yeah.
That was such a massive, gigantic leap forward from the previous generation of technology.
Yeah, and now you've got games like Dishonored and Horizon, which have just incredible kind of facial dexterity, and the things they can do with human faces now are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And the Anthem trailer, holy crap! Those faces in that game just looked
Yep. Although I wonder how much of that is going to be the E3 thing where they give you a brightly polished, fully CGI thing, and then in the game comes out, it's like Watch Dogs.
I was going to
E3 versus Watch Dogs
as one of my topics, but I read something today about expecting a downgrade in Anthem's graphics because although it's like running on an Xbox One X in that demo, as they populate with the world with things to do and more kind of there's more toll on the actual hardware and all that kind of thing, it can't do those level of graphics. So as I guess as we get closer to the release date, we'll see whether they've downgraded the graphics or not. Which I mean, I'm going to be playing it on PlayStation Standard Edition, so I don't think it really matters to me. I mean, like Horizon looks great anyway, so as long as it's kind of that level of graphics, then I'll be okay. What's next? Probably one of my last ones is that there was a filming halt. This just happened today. A filming halt on the set of Walking Dead. Season 8 has been put to a halt as a stuntman was injured in a stunt. There was an update just a little while ago, saying that he has suffered complete loss of function in his brain. So he's basically gone vegetable, and that his family is starting to make arrangements for him. So it's pretty sad. My condolences definitely go out to the family of this man. Yeah, so
I just it sucks that he dies. I'm just looking at his
oh, he hasn't died yet.
Credits.
But yeah, it's pretty.
Apparently, he's brain dead.
Yes, yeah.
Lost all brain function now on life support.
Yeah.
So, poor sod.
Yes, yeah.
He's done a fair.
I would maybe like to know what kind of stunt man he was, with what kind of what they could have done maybe to not make that kind of thing happen. But
he's done quite a bit. He's apparently in Black Panther. He's as a stunt person. He's and what else I see? I saw Logan in there. Logan, he's in Logan. He's done quite a lot. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Keanu, Fifth Wave, Extraction, Into the Badlands.
Recently as well, which means he was like
Last Witch Hunter.
Wow, right. So he's
the Hunger Games.
A busy guy, and now it's just been a candle has been snuffed out. So yeah, it's a bit sad. Hopefully, everything just kind of I don't know. What do you do?
What do you do? I mean, he probably was a professional, probably is a professional stunt person. So they do get a lot of, as far as I understand it from my limited knowledge of that, they do get a lot of training and they do go into this knowing full well stuff can go wrong. That's why they do it and not the actors do it. So, they probably do get a lot of training. They've probably done it a lot. He's obviously, he's been working since 2009, so he knows what he's doing. So, maybe part of the set broke. Maybe maybe something else happened. There's very few not much out there that I've seen, not on IGN anyway.
Who do you think he looks like? Who do you think he was stunt? Do you think he was like a secondary person, or do you think he was a stunt double?
I don't know, because the funny thing with stunt people is they'll often put them in wigs. They'll just look for people with the same build as other actors, the actors themselves. So I don't know.
Similar to build to maybe Daryl, or maybe Rick, possibly.
Possibly. Well, Rick's got a beard and long hair now.
But I mean, you can again wigs. You can
wigs,
give people a face.
Yeah.
Wig.
We won't know. Maybe in the future days, Walking Dead AMC will announce something and do something. Certainly sucks.
Sad news. Bit of a sad.
It's a bit of a downer there, Daniel.
I'm sorry. I just thought it was important that people would know about that. Your turn. You did yours, didn't you?
I didn't have many points for this time. I don't know. Maybe switch to something else. There's a movie. My recommendation for the week. There's a movie coming out called Baby Driver. From all the reviews I've seen, that looks fantastic. I really want to go see it.
August, isn't it?
Nope. Looking at Hoyts. It comes out on the 20th.
Oh, okay.
Of this month.
Cool. All right, I'll have to put that in my diary, because that looks epic. I mean, it's another Edgar Wright movie. Edgar Wright did Hot Fuzz and
the Cornetto trilogy.
Thank you. And they are. He's a really good director. They're really good movies that he makes. So
IMDb has 8.3. Rotten Tomatoes is 96.
Yeah.
Metacritic has 86.
Yeah.
So
he's definitely my favorite.
Looks
directors. Good. It looks really, really good. I'm not actually too sure about the main about Baby's actor, but I'm sure he'll. I'm sure Edgar will make a great.
From the handful of reviews that I have read, said that he does it quite well. Does it with enough panache and with enough old school rock star charm.
Yeah, he seems very much like Drive. Is it Drive or Driver? Ryan Gosling movie.
Yeah.
He seems very much similar kind of actor, or not actor, but like the portrayal that he's doing in that very stoic kind of action kind of guy.
Yeah.
Seems fucked up by probably his upbringing and stuff. That's a good segue into what we are consuming. I haven't figured out a title for this segment, but at the end of the show we're going to do what we are consuming in terms of books, movies, games, what we're playing at the moment. I haven't had much time on my hands. I'm still into the Destiny meta at the moment, doing some Crucible, leveling up and getting more guns, even though every gun I seem to get is worse than the ones I've already got. So the standard kind of Destiny stuff. So that's all I've been really playing at the moment. I've been playing a little bit of PUBG, which I might play a bit more tonight. And what am I reading? Finished that manga that I recommended last week. I've moved on to. I've started reading Attack on Titan. Attack of Titan. Everyone knows about that. I've started reading. I read it a long time ago and kind of fell off after the first season came out as anime, and then I've just gotten back into reading it, and it's going pretty good. I mean, I'm still in a part that I've already read before, but I've read just so much manga that it kind of all
does it all blur together at some stage?
Yeah, it gets kind of hard. What about you? What are you reading? What are you playing? What are you doing?
What I'm playing, I'm sort of in that zone where I'm waiting for a game to come out, Fortnite. So I'm just trying to while the hours away while playing other things, and just trying to keep myself occupied. So I'm currently sort of tentatively stepping back into the Diablo 3 loot and grind cycle.
On your Xbox or?
Yeah, on the Xbox. Okay.
So we'll find another computer game we can play together. Just PUBG.
And also trying to do the whole loot money grind for Grand Theft Auto, which is just a money grind, which gets a bit annoying after a certain point.
Do you do have you set up kind of like map playlists and stuff for yourself, or do you just do actual missions?
I tend to just jump in and hit random and just
Right.
see where that takes me. Sometimes it works out well, sometimes it doesn't work out well. Sometimes I just roam the map.
The player-created missions, like, they get you decent money, and they are really good. Like, we do some of the race ones; they're really, really amazing. They're pretty cool. But I guess if you do, you have to kind of do those bunch of people racing on your own. Even though a track might be really good, it can be pretty boring.
Yeah. Well, they do have. They just added onto their double money weekend thingamabob. They have got a game type called Overtime Drift or something like that. Essentially, you start in a car on top of a ramp, you drive down the ramp, and you hit a target while trying to avoid the other people trying to hit the target and hoping you don't get smacked off. Then you got to land on it and stay on a certain point to get points and points to win and all that sort of thing.
Smack you off and all that kind of thing. That sounds that sounds pretty
interesting. It's funny and it's frustrating. It's annoying when someone hits you off like a top 0.1, and then, but it's also hilarious when they barely just miss you by an inch and they splash and die themselves. Like, it's pretty funny.
I watched Fast and Furious 8 the other night. That was pretty good. I mean, it's a Fast and Furious movie.
Can't expect too much from Fast and Furious.
Wasn't amazing, but it was good. One thing I do want to talk about with that movie, they demonized automatic driving systems. Like,
did they?
Yeah, they all of New York basically
the swarm
gets hacked with and there becomes a swarm of automatic driving cars, which just plow into people and turn into this just mob of cars. And it's like, I hate this kind of thing happening. Like, they did it with artificial intelligence, with Terminator back in the day. They'd done it with space flight so many times. There's just all these like negative movies coming out where the things that are cool and latest and greatest, like, people back in the day were terrified of automatic doors chopping you in half because they saw it on Star Trek and stuff like that. Like, it's just fear-mongering. Like, it's turning people away from a technology that could literally change our world and make it a better place, and they turn it into this terrifying thing that, oh no, someone's gonna hack your car and fucking drive you at somebody with a minigun. I'm
sure the security systems for those cars are nigh on impenetrable, and you just can't do it because it's Google's doing one of them, and they're not exactly like newbies to the whole computer thing. They've been doing it for longer than anybody else.
I hate how
I reckon
media tends to just go the whole 9 yards at demonizing certain things. It's a bit crazy. It's unnecessary. It made me roll my eyes more than I normally would at Fast and Furious. So yeah, it was a bit of a negative point, but the movie on the whole was a good movie, or a good Fast and Furious movie. I liked The Rock. I liked Jason Statham.
They're apparently doing a spin-off of those two characters.
That'd be cool.
Apparently,
I want to see them have a one-on-one fight. I would pay to watch that.
Although there is another bit of information I heard when that movie first came out, that apparently The Rock and Vin Diesel weren't.
Yes.
They didn't see eye to eye, and they were sort of beefing. Although I kind of think there was more publicity to sort of ramp it up, because I listened to a podcast, the Rogan podcast, and Sean Eastwood was on it. Scott Eastwood's son. I can't remember. Scott Eastwood?
Scott Eastwood, yes.
Yeah, Scott Eastwood was on with Clint Eastwood, his dad, not the other way around. And he essentially said, "Yeah, don't believe everything you read. It's So, yeah. It'll be interesting to see with them doing a solo sort of cop movie.
I'm interested.
Interesting.
And a buddy.
I mean, I think they're the only characters that you could actually spin off and do a decent movie of.
On their own, yeah. Did you like the Scott Eastwood character?
Yeah, I thought he was interesting. I mean, I like Scott Eastwood anyway. I think he's a good actor. It seems like a good guy.
Yeah. Because I feel like that he's going to be the new Brian, because he's even driving Subarus and things like that, which is what Brian always used to kind
of. Apparently in real life, he was actually
his friends.
Really good mate. They grew up together in Hawaii. So
Hawaii, yeah. I remember I listened to that podcast. It was pretty cool. Finding some more backstory on Paul and Scott. That was pretty cool. That's about it, isn't it?
Sounds about it.
Okay, all right. Well, we've reached the end of our time then. Thank you very much for listening if you have been, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Peace out.
Yeah, goodbye.